Dead in 6 hours. My son was the target of Nigerian sextortion fraudsters. Please first follow, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Sextortion has been connected to over 27 suicides in the U.S. alone and is the fastest-growing fraud affecting teens worldwide. A large number of the con artists seem to be from Nigeria, where the government is under pressure to take more action while defending its practices. Jordan, the son of Jenn Buta, committed himself 2 years ago after falling victim to con artists who sent him graphic photos of himself in exchange for money. She still finds it difficult to make any changes to his bedroom. The year-old's clothes, posters, bed sheets, and basketball jerseys are all just as he left them. In order to preserve memories of him that only a parent could comprehend, the door and curtains are closed. His scent is still present. I still have the door closed for that reason, among other ones. This room still has the smell of perspiration, dirt, and cologne. I simply can't bear to part with his belongings, she remarked. Sextortion scammers reached out to Jordan on Instagram. They flirted with him by pretending to be a gorgeous girl his age and sending him intimate pictures of themselves in an attempt to get him to share them. Then, in order to stop him from showing the photos to his pals online, they threatened to blackmail him for hundreds of pounds. Jordan threatened to commit suicide if the extortionists disseminated the pictures and sent as much money as he could. Good, the thief said. Complete that quickly, or I'll force you to. Less than 6 hours passed between Jordan's initial communication and the moment he took his own life. From her house in Michigan, in the U.S. North, Jenn told BBC News, "There's actually a script online, and these individuals are simply following the script and applying pressure. It's all about volume, so they're working quickly so they can go on to the next individual." After being found in Nigeria, the offenders were apprehended and extradited to the United States. Samuel Ogoshi, 22, and Samson Ogoshi, 20, are two brothers from Lagos, who entered guilty pleas to charges of child sexploitation and are currently awaiting sentencing. An additional Nigerian individual, connected to Jordan's demise and additional instances, is battling extradition. Jordan's sad tale has turned into a focal point in the struggle against the sextortion epidemic. Using the account Jordan created for her, Jenn has become a well-known advocate on TikTok, spreading awareness of the risks that sextortion poses to adolescents. Over 1 million people have enjoyed her videos. Because sextortion is such a delicate subject, it is thought that fewer cases are recorded. However, according to U.S. criminal statistics, the number of incidents more than doubled to 6,700 last year, with at least 27 boys committing suicide in the previous 2 years. Scholars and law enforcement organizations identify Nigeria in particular as a hub for terrorist bases in West Africa. 2 Nigerian men were taken into custody in April following the suicide of an Australian schoolboy. Following the suicides of a year-old in Canada and a year-old in the U.S., 2 more men are on trial in Lagos. The U.S. cyber organization network Contagion Research Institute (NCRI) brought attention to a network of Nigerian accounts on TikTok, YouTube, and Scrib that shared sextortion scripts and advice in January. The majority of the conversations and videos are in the Pidgin dialect of Nigeria. Nigeria's youthful, tech-savvy populace has previously welcomed new forms of cybercrime. A segment of the populace that makes their living through cybercrime is referred to as Yahoo Boys. It originated with the Nigerian prince scam emails of the early 2000s that proliferated via Yahoo email. According to Dr. Tombari Sibe of Digital Footprints Nigeria, young people in the nation now consider cyber fraud, including sextortion, to be commonplace. He also notes that unemployment and poverty remain major issues. It's almost like a mainstream activity where they don't really think too much about the consequences. All these young people who don't really have much, all they see are their coworkers getting rich. The African human rights organization Devatop claims that the ways in which sextortion is now dealt with in Nigeria have not been able to successfully stop the practice. Additionally, an NCRI assessment stated that the nation's internet subculture has a well-established tradition of celebrating sextortion offenses. The head of Nigeria's National Cybercrime Center (NCCC) defended the conduct of his police agency and stated that it was making a lot of effort to apprehend offenders and discourage others from launching attacks. In an exclusive interview with the BBC, it is laughable, according to Uche Ifeanyi Henry, that anyone should accuse Nigeria of not treating sextortion crime seriously, and that his detectives are hitting criminals hard. We are dealing a very severe blow to criminals. Numerous people have been detained and prosecuted, he claimed. Due to our actions, a large number of these criminals are now relocating to neighboring countries. The NCCC had emphasized that the government was taking cybercrime, particularly sextortion, seriously by spending millions of pounds on a cutting-edge cybercrime center. He claimed that other sextortionists in Southeast Asia were also targeting kids in Nigeria and that the crimes were not limited to Nigeria. Global support would be necessary to tackle them, he said. In light of this, the director and his technical team are visiting the UK's National Crime Agency this week. The agency warned kids and educators about an increase in sextortion cases last month. Enhancing cooperation on sextortion and other cybercrime investigations is the goal of the visit. It comes after comparable previous gatherings with the police in Japan. Jenn Buta and John DeMay, Jordan's father, are still running for office in the interim. They frequently offer guidance to young people who might end up as victims. Jenn and other law enforcement organizations frequently offer the following advice to those who are being pursued by sextortionists. Recall that this is not your fault and that you are not alone. Using the platform's safety feature, report the predator's account. Prevent the aggressor from reaching out to you. Keep the messages or profiles safe. They can aid law enforcement in locating and putting an end to the predator. Before sending money or more pictures, get assistance from a responsible adult or law enforcement. Blackmail and harassment are rarely stopped by cooperating with the predator, but law enforcement can.